Sydney Corra, producer for Race Central, right next to longtime motorsports insider and radio host, TV host, motorsports expert, insider. I already said that. Kurt Hansen. Kurt, how are you?
I'm trying not to strangle myself with this headset. Pretty exciting.
You did a pretty good job. You can't even see it.
Well, that's kind of the whole idea. That way people can look at me.
Yeah.
So have you washed away in your neighborhood yet?
Pretty much. I'm right by the window here, and it's flooding out there right now.
Did you guys get hail?
No. I mean, not that I didn't see any hail, but it could have happened.
Yeah. Unbelievable. I mean, it seems like this is a racing show, but we have to talk about the weather because in Colorado, it could be, I mean, we do have really what I think is more like 6.5 to 7 months of winter-like conditions, albeit the last 3 or 4 days it was actually pretty nice. But Jesus Christ, it's just I'm over it. I was all excited to be back up at Colorado National Speedway because I don't think we did announce it. I am the NASCAR announcer at Colorado National, and they're considered one of the best Saturday night short tracks in the country. I was all excited for a Saturday show because we have the big 18. Well, they're not racing with 18 wheels, but the Sands trailer, but just the rigs. Truck racing is very exciting. They come down from Canada for this event. And we get 10 to 15,000 people that come out for it. But so it's postponed to next week, and we'll make up the super late models later in the month. But the track where it sits down in a little valley, and because the track's built into the ground, it's high banked. There's in talking the track, the track's got in the middle of the X where they run the demo X cars, is got about 5 feet of water on it, and the parking lot is completely destroyed. So yeah.
So did those guys come down from Canada, or did they not make the trip
yet? They're already here. But
oh no!
So they're going to stay over a week. We're going on next Saturday, so it'll be a very busy night for me. But the trucks are very cool. I can remember for years we used to race them up Pikes Peak and the Pikes Peak International Hill Climb, especially when we had 10 or 15 of them. They were a big crowd favorites. It's pretty exciting stuff. So I'm excited. I just was excited for this weekend. But a happy Mother's Day to everybody. So I'll be with my mother-in-law and the family up at the St. Julian in Boulder, which is kind of bougie. Yeah, it's squeaky clean, as the Zohan would say. Silky smooth. Like
what
your
is
hair.
That?
Don't mess with the Zohan. You haven't seen Don't Mess with the Zohan?
No. What's the Julian?
Oh, the St. Julian?
Yeah, what's that?
That's pretty highbrow stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a hotel and the dining room, the food is fantastic. It's ironically right across the street from our other favorite place in Boulder, which closed during the pandemic. They could have stayed open per se, but they closed it down. The rumor was they'd never come back. But right across the street is Brasseria 1010, which is another 5-star deal. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be wet and rainy, so I guess we're moving off the patio. We have our same spot every year, but we won't be on the patio with live music outside because I think it's going to. I don't think Mother Nature is going to. For Mother's Day, that Mother Nature chick's being a real bitch.
Oh my God, Jesus! What do you have something against Mother Nature?
When it's like this 24/7, 365, yeah.
All right. Well, next time it's like a beautiful day and we're recording the radio show, then I hope Mother Nature remembers that one.
That's right. What are you doing? Your mom's here, right?
On Mother's Day, you're gonna call Mother Nature a bitch?
What
the hell is the matter with you?
Is your mom here or is she in Atlanta?
She's in Georgia. Yeah.
Georgia, yeah.
Savannah.
Oh, nice place. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, call your mother.
Yes, I will be calling my mother. I've already sent her an arrangement, a wonderful, lovely arrangement. I'll be celebrating some of the other mothers in my life.
It's under a bunch of these really good, food truck food packed in dry ice. And just heat that stuff right up.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know what? That's funny because he's thinking about doing another one with his mother. Speaking of mothers, his mom wants to do a snow cone truck. So,
ooh.
Yeah. Maybe that'll be a thing sometime in the future.
Do you know what a snow cone is?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just sure because they were really popular when I was a kid, not when Sid was the kid.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I am a sucker for a snow cone. I love a
With the creepy guy with the cream truck with the bell.
Yeah, well, but you know what they do nowadays? Nowadays, you get to put your own syrup on the ice. Did you know that?
Well, thank God, because I don't want creepy ice cream truck dude touching anything that comes to my lips. Don't know
I
where
don't
those
know.
hands have been.
It's I think it's weird. It's like I don't want to put my own syrup on there. That's your job, you know?
Well, yeah, it's like flying. I had a little adjustment there. It's like going to the airport and everything's self-service. I'm like, really? I paid this massive amount of money for a ticket and I get to foul it up all by myself? And they charge you extra if you talk to somebody. What's this fucking world coming to? I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's
Unbelievable.
truly a disaster. I think we should probably get on to that
Sure.
racing stuff there, kiddo.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, let's make
We
it
call this in the industry. We call this host chat.
yeah,
Like we're
host
not
chat.
side by side, but it's host chat.
Too much host chat. Cut down all the host chat. That's what they'll say.
That's right.
Well, okay. Anyways, we'll make a call back to sort of your experience a couple weeks ago, but is having even more what would you say,
What
extended
the heck
benefits,
was that?
extended benefits for IndyCar. IndyCar after Long Beach has had tremendous ticket sales success in what, Iowa and Detroit.
Yeah, so the Detroit Grand Prix moves to from Belle Isle, which is where it was for years. And Belle Isle is where all the filthy rich people lived back in the 18 and early 1900s, outside of Detroit. Its own island,
Oh wow.
basically, it's a pretty shiny place for sure. That's where all the rich people could go because you couldn't get to it unless you
Yeah.
crossed the Detroit River, which is filthy and very fast current, and they'd shoot you with
BB guns.
uh, no, back in the day it'd be like a musket. So anyway, it moves from Belle Isle back to the streets of I call it the mean streets of Detroit, which is kind of cool because I went to the Formula One race in Detroit many times, and it is very um, very cool. And all the problems that Detroit's had over the past decade or so, I mean, it was basically a city that was burned down.
Right.
But they did a big renovation downtown. They say go 5 blocks either way, it can't be so good. But the Renaissance Center, the iconic Renaissance Center, and the Cobo Arena, and they used to go around Cobo in the Formula One cars and through the tunnel onto Seaway or Seaport, which is where all the shit. I mean, it's really cool downtown, and I'm
Yeah.
glad to see Indy cars coming back to the mean streets of Detroit. I know a lot of drivers are excited about it. I talked to many of them, and Belle Isle was cool, but it was heartless. There was nothing there,
Right.
except a bunch of old mansions and stuff. Um, on the traditional, if you won at Belle Isle, you jumped into the 150-year-old fountain, which is kind of cool. But streets of Detroit will be really good. And then Iowa, IndyCar, and the tickets for Iowa for decades. I mean, they're like $20. Really
Whoa.
affordable race, but it's in Iowa. The Iowa Corn 300 or whatever the hell they call it. And it was literally searing hot during the day. And I told this story before. Ryan Hunter-Ray won 5 or 6 years ago in the searing heat. He had to be helped out of the car at the end of the race. It's basically a racing, Indy cars inside a soup bowl. It just the G-force, you're under G's the whole time. It's exhausting. It's hot.
Does he have
It's
any
humid.
heat stroke?
A little bit, a little bit. But he got out of the car and he said, "Please, no more day races." But the next year they moved it to a night race, and this year they really changed it up. They have like all these triple A list celebrities coming to perform for a rock concert, and it's kind of cool. But they tripled the ticket price, so it went from
Oh,
like
right.
25. Yeah, but it makes it $75. I mean, come on. And they get a bunch of great racing. It's a full schedule, very diverse schedule, and you get to see uh, super headliners. I can't remember them all right now. There's like 6 or 7. I think it's a pretty good deal. I'm thinking about heading out. I get a full night with a concert. So I mean,
You're going out
it's a
there?
2 day. It's a 2 day event. I think I'm going to go.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's like a 45-minute flight. So
Well,
I'm,
I'm
I'm
looking it
actually.
up right now.
What's that?
I'm trying to look it up right now to see what
The
artist.
headliners. Yeah, they got a. I'm literally gonna cut this ear off,
So,
or the headset.
Oh, Ed Sheeran's gonna be there.
Yeah, do you believe that stuff? Yeah,
Ed Sheeran, Zach Brown band.
yeah, yep, yep. Keep
Is
going.
that Carrie Underwood?
I think so. Yeah.
No way.
I mean, this is the
What?
corn, girl.
This sounds sick. What's the town like? Newton.
Nothing like a little town you'd expect to know.
So you don't really do, you just go there for the event. You don't really like
Yeah.
hang out in the town.
No, but you can stay as I call it, Des Moines,
Uh-huh.
for like $60 a night. So, um, yeah, I'm actually thinking about going. It might be a lot of fun. I get great bands, and I get to see a great
Music
amount of
and-
racing. What was that?
I said
Ghost-
music
Ghost
and racing.
Yeah, hot girls, music, and racing, and alcohol. So please explain to me where there's a problem.
No, I think $75 isn't too bad. I mean, I'm looking at ticket prices right now.
Yeah, I think the most expensive is like 100 and something, but that's like the super VIP rub a dub dub.
I think all these tickets are around $100.
Yeah, that could be right. I thought they had some still that were like $75. I could be.
Uh-huh.
Remember, I have dementia.
Well, you know what? With artists like that,
Oh,
I think that price makes sense. And also, it's good for IndyCar. I think it's similar to what we'll get into later with we're talking about F1, where it's like these races are becoming like events.
well, it's like Long Beach Grand Prix, the
Yeah.
party at the shore, the roar at the shore,
Yeah.
and a lot of the new fans coming to the sport. Uh, you know, people like yourself. I mean, TikTokers, Facebookers, Instagrams. You want entertainment. You want to have a lifestyle event. They think it's going to really hurt the hardcore fan
Right.
that doesn't give a poop about that stuff, and they would you could bring a family of 10 for $150. So those people are squealing like stuck pigs. But you know what?
Good.
With all due respect, the sport needs to evolve,
Yeah.
and if some of the hardcore fans get left out, and I'm a hardcore fan, and I'll pay my own way to go. I'll get credentialed and stuff, but I mean, I don't have to pay for tickets, and I can go wherever I want. But
Right. Well, I can't
the
imagine.
sport has to evolve.
Yeah, I think for the true fans of the sport of racing, I think that sucks for them, and I would be pissed too.
Yeah,
But also, if you really care about the health of the sport and like continued revenue into the sport that you love, I think that it's understandable. But I could understand where the frustration comes
yeah. I mean, but see, the hardcore fan, and from every bit of input I've had for a long time, Iowa gets a lot of hardcore, sprint car, USAC Silver Crown. I mean, what they call open wheel stuff that run on dirt and pavement. That's an old school hardcore, IndyCar, Champ Car, whatever you want to call it, fan. But again, if you're talking about replacing 3,000 people, even 5,000 people that maybe don't come because they're hardcores or can't afford the ticket, and you replace them with 5,000 plus that are spending a ton more money in the grandstands, more money in the community. It's more and more and more. More is better. And these potentially, if they're bringing a young family, the little kids, now you're introducing them to IndyCar in a really cool environment with bands that they're probably familiar with, and now they become IndyCar fans, and they're growing the future of the sport. So sometimes, with change and with evolution, you have to sometimes move away from what's old, and I reminisce like that too and stuff. Think about the good old days, but the good old days are quickly gone away because I'm an older demographic right here, and so in 10 years when I'm dead, hopefully not, I'm not going. There's no ticket for that.
Yeah.
So
Well,
unless my wife wears my urn with a chain around her neck, but aside from that, I'm probably not going.
Yeah. Well, she could be like, these are Kurt Hansen's ashes. He's a motorsports animator.
Everybody knows who I am anyway, so it's like
Are you gonna let me in?
Yeah, the people checking the tickets may not know. The people do need to know.
No.
Maybe she could go with the urn and like 500 of my credentials hanging around her neck from all my different IndyCar races.
Maybe she could wear a Kurt Hansen wig.
Yeah, that's not going to work out too good for her.
Have white hairs. Just
Right. Right. Thank you very
okay,
much.
well, I can't. I'm really excited for those races so that we can watch them and talk about them and just see how it all goes down. And if you go to that race in Iowa, I'm jealous. But it will give us a lot of fun stuff to talk about. So we'll look forward to that. But in the meantime, let's talk a little NASCAR. Hey, still stirring the pot for some folks.
Yeah, Ross Chastain is really, he made a name for himself last year, finished second in the championship, won a few races, and was incredibly competitive in the Trackhouse deal. He's the same this year. He continues to ruffle feathers. This Denny Hamlin thing ain't going away. Denny continues to spur it on, which I think is in a lot of ways kind of asinine. But because Denny's going to get himself in trouble. He already did. He said, "Oh yeah, I wrecked him on purpose, ha ha," and he got a big fine.
Denny ham sandwich.
Denny ham sandwich. The ham got a little too dry, and now Ross Chastain gets into it. Kyle Larson's ripping him. Brendan Poole anyway is a dumbass. He should shut his fucking mouth.
Why's that?
Well, because he says, "Oh, Ross dumped me." Well, first of all, you're in a less really competitive car. You're not running the series full time. You're doing partial races, which means it's really hard to have the confidence and get up on the pedal and up on the wheel when you're driving kind of in the rearview mirror. And Ross comes up to lap him, and now the videotape shows it looks like Brendan actually he was getting sucked up into the wall on his own doing, rolled out of the power right in front of Ross. Ross can't stop on a dime. Ross hit him and put him in the. But Brendan says someone needs to beat his ass or something like that. And that, I mean, for a guy that really is Mr. Irrelevant, who cares? To be ripping, a young superstar and future star of the sport, I think is a bad look. This is getting a little crazy.
But Ross Chastain, he is kind of being.
Oh,
crazy.
He's a snarky fucker. He's.
So is it really that wrong of that guy to think that to say that Ross Chastain should get his ass kicked?
Well, when he rolls out of the power right in front of the leader coming up to lap you again, and you roll out in front of a guy, the guy doesn't know where to go. I mean, Ross is creating his own bed, and I think last year he gave it that big smile and the howdy doody and smashing watermelon, and it was a big show. I thought that was cute. It's like kind of like dating. Figure out it's the wrong dude or the wrong chick. These people are getting just a little bit tired of the act. I think he needs to don't lose the aggression. If I'm a car owner, I want a badass smirking motherfucker in my car that's going to get up on the wheel and try to dial him back a little bit, as opposed to dude, the pedal on the far right is the one you push on. Let's go faster. So I'm okay with it. I think it's good.
Yeah. So you think you don't have a bad view of Ross Chastain. You think it's fine.
Oh, he needs to back it off a little bit. Oh. But you know what? But see, Justin Marks, his car owner, that's kind of he's a rich kid. Bought Ganassi with his dad's money. Look what he's built. Now they're talking about having an IndyCar project and maybe an IMSA project. I mean, rich kid, pretty damn good driver. And he's got a lot of snark in him, too. So the apple doesn't fall, or the watermelon in this case, doesn't fall far from the tree. I like it. Go out and kick some ass, man. Make people, when you look in the rearview mirror, you see Ross coming, what's he going to do? I think it's a good thing. The sport needs it. There's a lot of whining going on. And in all the years I played high-level sports and professional racing, we say winning, not whining. Come on, whiners.
Yeah.
Maybe have a closed door meeting with Ross, with all the drivers, and clear the air.
Sure.
And if he wants to say, fine, that's your opinion, this is my opinion. When I come up behind you next time, fuck you. You'll be able to know when I'm coming because you'll see the number one sign. Or whatever.
Well,
take him behind the woodshed.
Yeah, if he's winning races, then it's kind of badass. So,
but not so far this year. But I think right now he's second in the standings. He might actually be leading. I didn't look this after this last race, but people like winners, and it's why they love to hate Dale Earnhardt Sr. You love him or you hate him, and he put 100,000 people in the grandstands every weekend, and In death, he became more popular than in real life. And not wishing any ill will to Ross Chastain, but you know what? Somebody's got to wear the black hat, and I think that Ross Chastain is he's taken over for Kevin Harvick, who was the black hat guy forever. I like it. I think it's good for the sport. Sport needs to keep pushing the envelope. TV numbers have been good. Attendance has been good. I like the diversity. I mean, I think it's time to go. And with the success Formula One is having, NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA, World Outlaws, NHRA, they need to pick up. They need to pick up their game.
Right.
They need to pick up their game big time.
Well, all right. Well, speaking of picking up the game and high energy and spectacles, F1 in Miami was quite the spectacle. What did you think of that?
It was basically like
It was
downtown.
like Coachella.
Well, no, it's like downtown Rio de Janeiro during Carnival. I
Wow.
mean, it had everything. I mean, half naked women, LL Cool J. It was a big party, and it worked out really well. 270,000 tickets sold for that event. That's insane. The TV numbers were monster. Formula One continues to be evolving and growing. IndyCar is trying to follow, and they're doing a good job. But the Euros are you can watch stuff that's basically pornographic on the news at night. Europe's a much more, in South America is a much more progressive and free thinking, and so that stuff plays well in the F1 community because that's what they're used to, what they grew up with. IndyCar, they're based in Indianapolis. You've got a bunch of let's put it this way, people that come from a different ilk. But I think that IndyCar could deserve to spice it up. I mean, when IndyCar took over the Indianapolis 500, they used to have an area outside the racetrack called the pits. It's more than pits, but it was basically debauchery city. Miles of trailers and all kinds of interesting things happening, and bare naked ladies and all kinds of
They're
stuff.
trying. They're
No, they
trying.
took it away. They took the pits away because Disney was part of it now. So Disney didn't want to be tied to debauchery. But what the heck?
Well, it's not like Disney cares about being appropriate these days, anyways. So they could probably bring it back.
Well, maybe they should. I don't know, but I mean that's part of the allure of a professional motor race with the weekends, like the infield at Talladega and at Darlington, and it's part of the ilk. It's woven into the thread of the sport. But Formula One, Miami, they blew it up. I saw on TV there was like a $58 like 4-inch Wagyu beef with a piece of beef like that thick and that long with cheese on it. $58.
Wow.
$270 nachos. And I'm not even sure if that came with the queso.
$270 nachos? What the heck? Yeah. Well, okay. Well,
Bradley should try that.
Yeah. 200. Yeah. You should put that on the menu, see if people book them.
Yeah.
Anyways, so basically, from my perspective, it appears that Formula One is the new, it's the trendy thing. Like it's like the new, it's flashy, it's trendy, it's money. Like people go there, it makes you look like kind of rich, kind of glamorous, kind of ritzy.
You better be kind of rich if you're buying $58 Wagyu and $270. I can't imagine what a fillet or a big chunk of prime rib or something costs in all the bougie restaurants around the circuit area and in those hotels.
I mean, even there's all these brands are like hosting. They're paying for influencers to go out there, like makeup brands, like viral makeup brands have like booths there and like tables and sections, and they're sending their influencers. It's the next big thing, and I'm excited for the one in Vegas.
It's the rumor now says that Vegas might be or could become the most expensive Formula One race ever, and it's you better be ready. You better bring your 10 American Express Platinum cards and a bankroll because it's going to cost you big bucks. But I like it. I think it's cool.
That's cool.
And it's all good.
Gosh, I would love to go to one. That would be sick. Someday in the future. Well, anyways, we're getting close here, but we got a couple more things to talk about. 100 Days to Indy, that's going to be on this evening. I know we talked about it a little bit last episode, but maybe you could refresh the listeners.
So it's a good plan. And ironically, just a week ago, the company that produced it and did it all and built the show is on the verge of bankruptcy, which is kind of sad. And it makes me wonder, how much money did the IndyCar series put into this? Maybe they gave them a little stipend to do it, gave them the approval, and then it was their job to go out and sell sponsorship and advertising. But I mean, that's tragic. They say it's not going to affect the completion of uh, of the series, which I think there might be this week. IndyCar is at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but they're in the infield road course. It's a road race. I think this might be the last episode, but kind of sad to see. But it's a good start for IndyCar to start trying to compete with Formula One and having what I call shoulder programming to spread the word. And it's very shiny. It's pretty cool. It definitely favors Mr. Penske because, by the way, he owns the series and all that stuff in Indianapolis 500 the Speedway.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a Penske show, but I like it. I think it's good. It's a great move. I give IndyCar huge kudos, and I hope they can step in. They say that allegedly this isn't going to affect the completion of the run, but I'm sure behind closed doors, if that had to happen, I'm sure Mr. Penske probably would check. And I know we got to go, so I just want to wrap up real quick. Tell me, I'm a big World Outlaw fan.
Yes.
During the pandemic, when World Outlaw started racing again, and I was not aware of this, they did a series on CBS called Return to Racing. I'm going to go find that because it really kind of, there's nobody in the grandstands, and if there are, they're like 100 feet apart. I never saw this, and World Outlaws did a good job of getting back to racing during the pandemic, which I don't talk about before, said way too much. But then they've also got a new one that just came out that I saw a week or so ago, and it's really cool. Is the best way I can put it.
Where can you watch it?
So it was on CBS. Excuse me. Let me just take a quick peek here. I believe it aired. Aired a couple of weeks ago, and I saw it, but it's on CBS also. You can probably find it on YouTube. It's like I'm going to see moment, and I wrote it down, but I can't remember everything. But it's like this is like, I hate this when this happens. This is where you're supposed to jump in and save my life.
Right.
It's called. Right. Hang on. Here we go. It's The Good, the Young, and the Dirty, and it's kind of across them, following all the drivers across the board. And again, it's nothing like the sound of a sprint car. So yeah, The Good, the Young, and the Dirty. So there's two things for me to watch, or for you to watch, or all you people out there. I only saw a little bit of The Good, the Young, and the Dirty a week or so ago. Pretty good stuff. You can probably look it up on CBS. It might be on a streaming page somewhere, or you can probably find it on YouTube. But good stuff. There's a lot. The season is rocking and rolling. It's good to see too. Donnie Schatz really back on the thick of things this year. And Rico Abreu just won last weekend at Eldora. So everything's wide open, man. It's good. Carson Macedo is leading the points championship, which a lot of people thought he might have been the fastest car last year anyway. Had some unfortunate DNFs, but he's got that off his laundry list so far. But we're still young in the season, but it's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of really exciting things happening. Oh, by the way, the 107th running of the greatest spectacle in racing. Can Helio Castroneves do it again? Have to wait and see.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like that premiered on CBS for a few days ago on May 7th.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you'd probably be able to go to CBS website and figure out how to stream that.
God, I thought it was a week ago. This is what happens. Oh my
May
God.
7th. Well,
take your vitamins and your Prevagen.
Take your ginkgo biloba.
Okay.
Ginkgo biloba, the herb?
I know. I used to take it out. But I forgot where I put it, so I have to go find it.
Well, anyways, if you are a motorsports fan, or you're a new fan and you're looking to get into the sport, there's no shortage of content and things that you can look into and watch and learn about the sport. There's tons of content on Netflix now, on HBO, on CBS, and there's a ton that you can look into and follow along with us here, of course.
or in a magazine format with all the best highlights, you can watch Race Central TV. Why jerk around all this? Just watch Race Central TV. You can see it anywhere. You can hear my voice. Check your local listings, Roku, Amazon Prime, 35 major networks around the country, and 2 major networks, including our deal with Gannett and USA Today, takes us around the globe. And just watch Race Central TV. That was the success of how I built the show 20 years ago, and it works because all that stuff you have to search around for and find. We put it all in snippets into a motorsports magazine show, the longest running motorsports magazine show on TV, as well as Race Central Radio. And you can tune us in Fridays from 3 to 5. It's The Drive on AM 1600 here in Denver. And go to racecentralmedia.com. Click on the Listen Live link, and you can hear the lovely Sydney Corra. Sid the Kid is love, or you can watch this thing that we do and on YouTube, and get all. We're the one-stop shop. Where the fuck would anybody go anywhere else?
Yeah, the one-stop shop for all of your motor racing info, needs, and entertainment fix. So
Yes.
You summed it all up right there. I think it was a great episode 17. Again, tune in on Friday to the radio show and all the details that Kurt just mentioned. Kurt, it was good chatting with you today.
Yeah, I'm cold and cranky. That's why I snore so much. But yeah,
that's
we'll see you in
okay.
the studio tomorrow. Yeah, it's all good.
This is Unplugged.
Yeah. Or as they say for Brad Sweet, they call him Young Money. Not Brad Sweet. Excuse me. Oh, Kyle Larson is Young Money. Brad Sweet is the big cat.
Oh,
Correction. I got to find the ginkgo. I forgot where I put it.
bye everyone.
All right, Sid. I'll see you tomorrow. Good stuff.